G'day everyone, welcome back to Zero Access Footy, episode number 4. We are here once again in the studio. I'm here with Behm, and we're going to get talking into everything round 1. It was very nice to see all 18 teams play this weekend, and you can tell that I'm very excited about how the weekend went.
I'm not.
Don't worry, I've been looking at all our socials comments and how funny they think the scenario has gone this week. Either way, we'll get into all of that, but we want to have a look first at our usual weekly reminder of our tipping competition, ESPN Footy Tips. I believe you can still enter, but as we had promised, we've got our leaderboard just up here, which shows you the top 5 leaders at the moment. So Abdul had 8. He's the only one up there with 8.
Jeez, that's impressive.
That's some pretty good tips in there.
That is very impressive.
Only 2 in the opening round as well.
Yeah,
that is a ridiculous come up. And then Lachlan the Eagle also with 10. Bont for Brownlow. I've got a feeling I know who he's going for. Liam in there too, and I'd be surprised, but I saw it before. That's my mum in 5th spot, so shout out mum. Who says you can't have supportive parents watching?
This is like an award speech. Shout out mum.
Yeah, shout out mum for real. But she gets her shout out. Just sneaking in there at 9 with 9 out of the possible 13 I think it is so far.
Yep.
So the 10 out of
14.
14. It's still a fantastic hit rate for everyone on the top 5, so congratulations to those ones. Of course, if you haven't joined already, be sure to do so. You get yourself a chance at some cash prizes. So the ones in the top 3 there are currently in the lead and looking pretty for the rest of the season. But that is not what we do the podcast for, just for the tipping competition.
Uh-huh.
I know, earning money and all.
I mean, I've had a shit year so far, so I can't really.
You can really. You're going to need. Look, it's early days. It's early days.
I think I'll be on that leaderboard once this year.
Well, we'll find out. Who knows?
Yeah, suck shit.
Can't give up, mate. We've got round 1 though. Plenty to talk about this week. 9 games to go through.
How beautiful!
I mean, I've said it over and over again in the month, just the last month, both leading into the season and now in the season. How good's footy? Thank God footy back,
awesome,
man. Thank God footy is back, is what I meant.
Thank God footy back.
English is not working for me today. Either way, Carlton versus Richmond. This is what I believe should be, and I think you said you believe should be the very first matchup of the season.
Yep.
Because this one had fewer numbers than many of the years previous, correct?
Yes, there's been a very big issue with the ticketing so far this year.
So I don't know
AFL
whether it was
continued to fluff up everything that they do.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was like a ticketing side of things, whether it was an AFL side of things. Yeah, so basically way less numbers than we've usually gotten for this matchup. Either way, Carlton come away from this game 4-point winners, and my God, were they lucky to be. I'm telling you, Richmond are ahead of schedule. I think this performance, ignore the first quarter and maybe even a little bit into the second, Richmond are fighters. These guys will bust you up if you give them the opportunity to. And Richmond damn near picked them off. So close. So give a lot of credit to him, except Tom Lynch.
The one outlier.
Yeah,
Jeez,
pretty much so.
The seeds that would have been had he kicked like even just one more. Yeah. Would have been incredible.
Well, the final stat line in terms of shots on goal for him were 2 goals, 7 behinds, 1 no score. Look, all it takes is one of those misses finding its way into the big sticks, and this is a whole different story. Yep. But they're going to rue the day, and I do expect these guys to pick up some wins and really shock some teams more often than not. So if we can get some full 4-quarter games from these guys, I'm excited to see what comes from it. But you were really high on the idea of Sam Grill. He showed why. I mean, just such a penetrating kick inside forward 52.
I consider myself a day one Sam Grill fan, and he was incredible. I think had Jagger Smith have not have played, he probably would have got the Rising Star nom, to be honest. Yeah. Incredibly good-looking player.
And like you said, Jagger Smith, he had 16 in the first quarter, 16 disposals. Fantastic output for your second game. I mean, it's hard to get much better than that.
Yeah.
Finished with 32, so you could say he did get half of his disposals in the first quarter. But
16 and 3/4 as well for a rookie is very impressive.
He got involved. 32 in the game. You just got to look at it that way.
Yeah.
I did say leading into this one, it could be a Sam Walsh monster game. I mean, in terms of output, he's about on level with Cripps and Smith. So I wouldn't say it was just him taking over the game.
He's looked better, though. He's looked better than what he has the last couple of years,
Absolutely.
which is good.
Yeah.
Probably still not at his best like what we saw in 2021, but still pretty good. For the most part, I said Carlton were going to be the bigger-bodied side. They were going to be more physical. And for the first half, you saw that, and they were just able to hang on. I think for Carlton, it was so important for them to hang on for this because God forbid they lose 2 years in a row to Richmond.
Yep.
There would have been hell breaking loose everywhere.
After last year, you take the 4 points.
Yeah, pretty much. So for Michael Voss, take it, run, make sure that next week you don't shit yourself in the second half once again because it has been now an 18-month issue.
Well, they're a bit of a one-half team at the moment. They will play well for one and then lose it all even in just a quarter.
Yeah.
Richmond had their quarter. Of course, Sydney had their 12-goal quarter. There's things to look out for. Mm-hmm. And it's just about, rather than taking it as a sprint for however many minutes or however many halves, quarters, whatever it is, you keep that consistency throughout the entire game. And so I'm sure they're workshopping all of that.
Yeah.
Let's move, though. Essendon versus Hawthorn. You had a bit of a stinker call on this one, let's be honest.
I got sucked in.
Yeah, you really did.
I got sucked in big time.
Yeah. So, do you want to remind everyone what the call was?
Not really. Can we move on?
No, I want to look at this one. Yeah. You had said Essendon by 3 points, and your thinking was because of how poor Hawthorn looked against GWS. Mm-hmm. And look, in a vacuum, GWS then got pumped by the Dogs. So you're like, if you didn't even think about the Hawthorn-Essendon game, you'd be like, all right, GWS get pumped by the Dogs, but beat Hawthorn. Okay, Hawthorn may be on the lower side. No, they just had a bad week. I think.
And GWS clearly might have had a good week.
Yeah, very evidently so.
That's the thing.
Essendon, we could talk about Essendon a fair bit, but I'll keep it to a minimum here. Essendon's defense was very clearly the biggest problem.
Yep.
Because they kept themselves in it with pure energy in that first half, I'd even say. Obviously, they dropped off towards the end and got a bigger lead towards halftime. But Dyson Sharp kicked 2 goals in the first half. Fantastic first half of his career. He'll want to forget the second half of that first game. But I think overall,
most Essendon fans and players want to forget that second half.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the people that I've seen criticising Essendon have tried to look towards the more experienced players. Because I've even seen people giving it to Zach Merritt due to the fact that he gets a lot of possession, had a massive goal as well, I believe, in that second quarter where the entire crowd went up with him. It was a fantastic moment. But a lot of his kicks, a lot of his ball usage was not effective enough, which is a bit harsh, honestly. I think when you're kind of working with what you've got, a lot of young talent, Peter Wright copped a bit of criticism because every single time in that game he did not want to lead out for the football.
Yep.
It seemed he wanted the ball kicked deep to make it easy for him.
Yep.
So there's criticisms all over. You could go with Essendon, but we've done it to death. Let's praise a bit of Hawthorn.
Yeah, I think I didn't get to catch a lot of the game. I was working, but I caught most of the first quarter. And I thought their smalls were really, really impressive. They were just so much quicker, so much more dangerous than anything Essendon looked. Connor McDonald had a fantastic game. Dylan Moore was much better than what he was last week. Nick Watson, exciting. He had 17 and 2, I think. So maybe he gets more involved up the ground than just as a pure goal-scoring small forward, which could be really beneficial for the Hawks, given that they need more midfield, wizardry, I think is the best way to describe it.
That's not a bad way of looking at it, yeah.
And then, aside from that, their backline looked a lot better. But again, they're going up against Essendon. And this is what do we take out of it? Because Essendon looked to be a bottom 4 team again. So how much can you really look into it as Hawthorn's going to be really good? Or is it just that Essendon is so dog shit? Because their defense was shocking, both in terms of one-on-one and as a system, completely capitulated. It was really poor.
Well, here's the thing. It's all early days. Who knows whether this could have been just a complete fluke. This could have been Essendon in the sense of, their defense hadn't properly adjusted to the regular season play. It could be that. Essendon may surprise us, but they also didn't have some of their youth that they probably would have liked to play. But from the one game that we've seen, I agree they do look bottom 4 bound. We just got to look more into it. I think we can't be too confident with our takes just yet until a month or 2 in, if we're being completely honest.
You've got to get at least 5 or 6. Yeah. So,
let's have a look now. Bulldogs versus GWS. we had both gone the Dogs. Neither of us went as high as 81.
No.
But to give them the credit that they deserve, defensively, the biggest problem that we had presumed is fixing itself up.
Yeah.
And it's not personnel, it is structurally. Structurally, they're playing a hell of a lot different.
Yeah.
Better analysers than I am have pointed out. I think, for example, Lee Montagna and I think Jimmy Bartell. There's other guys out there who obviously know a lot more than I do, but they had pointed out that Luke Beveridge's game plan defensively has shifted to, instead of having the mids all rush, they have now got their game plan set as, all right, let's keep ourselves held back so that when the inevitable pushback from their defense comes, we're prepared and ready. Which sounds like an easy fix, but considering how talented and how damaging those midfielders can be, it's understandable why they wanted to go inside 50 so much.
Guess what we said last year, or what I said last year? I think you hopped on. Imagine if they were able to stop 2 goals from the opposition scoring. Maybe you lose a goal yourself, but you stop the opposition from scoring an extra 2. Even just that mindset of being, okay, we're not going to go 100%, 110% chips in on all-out scoring. Just that extra 5-10% of defensive awareness, I think, is really important for this team. And it's clearly showed. I think, for the most part, take this game as a bit of just rub it off if you're GWS, because last year, same thing happened, and they were a finals team.
Yep.
But again, still some concerns. I just think this is what the Bulldogs do to teams.
This is what they're going to do.
They're just going to do this to teams consistently throughout the year.
Yep. We'll move to Geelong versus Fremantle. And for me, this is not just an idea of perfect coaching ability from Chris Scott, because God, back against the wall after that first quarter, you'd be like, oh, this is looking rough for Geelong.
Yeah.
Simply put, Fremantle took this as a sprint. Geelong took it as a marathon. They looked so much fresher in that final quarter compared to Fremantle. And it's a shame because I think we both had picked Fremantle and they looked on track for it.
Yeah.
But experience just played out. It just played out so much better for Geelong than Fremantle. And Geelong were playing Paddy Dangerfield half of the game. So you'd think 4 subs compared to 5 or 4 interchange players compared to 5. Sure, you get the same amount of rotations, but you'd think like a one less player on your side in most occasion, Fremantle could keep the fitness up, but Geelong just had them. They just had them. And it could be being playing in Victoria. Obviously, they're on the other side. Whole different scenario. Honestly, who knows? The mindset could be different. But one of the things that came out of this one was Justin Longmire getting a bit upset about the opening round scenario, how apparently the industry is very aware that it's a disadvantage.
Yeah, well, it's an advantage if you do play opening round.
Yes.
Because you have that game sense. And I get what he's saying. I do get that. But at the same time, you were up by 8 goals in the first half, and you should be able to hold on to that lead, regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest criticism I once again have with him is we know how good they can be. And we saw that in the first half, and we've seen that multiple times over the last few years. However, when the going gets tough, does he respond? Because the players can respond, and they can bring themselves up and out of it. But tactically, what does he do? And in terms of getting his players up, what does he actually get into them about?
Yeah.
Because defensively, they were all over the place beyond halftime. And then specifically with their ball movement, they couldn't get the ball forward clean at all. Jordan Clark had arguably his worst game in 18 months. Like, that he is their best user. He needs to be involved in this game. And once again, their midfield looked good enough. Could you have then moved Hayden Young behind the ball as either a spare or just as another halfback to get some class behind there? Because it just completely failed. Their system completely failed.
Yeah. Plenty to have a look at with that one, but we'll move to Sydney versus Brisbane because there's a lot of small talking points and unfortunately some big ones. I'll start off with that big one being Errol Goulden. Because
Isaac Heaney.
And Isaac Heaney. Well, his was awareness was the term that they used. His was hamstring awareness.
He'll get tests. He had tests yesterday. We'll find out later tonight in terms of how bad it is.
But Errol Goulden's is
4 months.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah.
It is awful that Sydney looked primed to go and now they're back to exactly where they were last year without Errol Goulden for such a long period of time. The hope is that this year instead, because they're off to a 2-0 start, they can hold up enough for when Errol Goulden does come back. They just hit the ground running when it comes to finals time. Because last year they missed out on the opportunity completely.
Yeah.
If it was the scenario this year, if the scenario last year was as it is this year, they would have been playing wild cards last year. And could you imagine that with Errol Goulden in 10th spot? That's when a wild card may have actually brought them back into it. But I still think Sydney, look, it's awful to have a player of that caliber out for so long. But it's not worst case.
No.
He's going to come back. It's not a season ender.
He will be able to come back either early August or mid-August from the looks of things. They said 4 months. That takes you to halfway through July. You give him 3 weeks, let's say, to ramp up into match fitness because he is such a good trainer. He had one of the best off seasons ever, apparently, according to Dean Cox. Give him a couple of weeks, then give him 2 to 3 weeks returning back to his best, and then it comes finals time. I think that is pretty good in terms of not being season ending. But yeah, in terms of Brisbane, I don't think there's much to take out of this. Didn't have a lot of their best players, so just kind of had to just play well, and they didn't. And it was just a regular loss for them, I think, with all their injuries and suspensions.
I think it went. This is one of the ones where it actually went the way we thought it would. Yeah. In that Sydney, they just got over the top of Brisbane's defense and lack of defense, honestly, because of suspensions and injuries and all that. But
the Marty party,
exactly right. Big Marty.
He's one good game for the year.
Good stuff. We moved to Collingwood, Adelaide. This one was a really good fight. I think what was surprising was it was so defensively minded, even considering the final score. And that's really wild considering how beat up Adelaide's backline is and how little they have compared to their very best team. Really, really good stuff from Adelaide overall. But the one thing with Collingwood that I want to talk about specifically, and it's kind of been the whole headline with Collingwood, what are they going to do with their forward line? Because from what I had seen, Jamie Elliott was their main target.
Yep.
That cannot be the long-term look for this side this year. It just can't.
It can't even be the short-term.
Yeah, someone's got to step up.
It has to. Like, you look at it, they lost Brody. Well, they didn't lose. They let Brody Myercheck go. They didn't want to match what Melbourne offered him. And then clearly they just don't have that big enough body. Right, Dan McStay has been a horrible pickup for them since he came in from Brisbane. And I think regardless of what he tried to do, he just was never going to be that piece that really fit in. They let Mason Cox go as well, who would have just been a big body.
Yep.
Tim Embry's not that big body. He's like a mid-sized forward.
He had some good moments, though. I'll give Tim Embry that. There was some moments in there that, like, he made himself look good, but he's not consistent.
No, and then he's already also over 30. Yeah. And then Jack Buller, again, young player, you want to bring him in. He was never going to be the short-term solution. He might become decent long-term, but we won't know that, and he's not good enough now.
I was going to say, has Jack Buller kicked a goal yet this year?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He
may have kicked one somewhere, but I don't remember.
It's really tough when you look at it because and this was the concern we had from the start of the year. What options do they have in the forward of the ball to be a match winner? Because if you're not playing to go as a full-time forward, I don't think there really is a match winner there because Elliott, again, relying on him to kick 60 goals, again, is ridiculous.
Yeah. I think I want to give credit to Lachie Schultz. He looked pretty good. He was probably the biggest leading target outside of Elliott.
He's
maybe
had
even better than
games.
Yeah, he's had 2 really decent games. So I give credit to Lachie Schultz. But again, you're like 2 smallest forwards are your leading targets.
Yeah.
It's almost backwards with how you usually see your forwards. And it's clearly not doing enough. They haven't hit 100 just yet, and we know how big the scoring load can get now with all the new rules to keep the flow of the game pushing. We've seen massive scores all around, and Collingwood feel like they're just a step behind because there's talent undeniably.
Yeah.
We just need to see something different. Someone needs to step up. Something needs to change game plan-wise to open up a Membry, maybe even a McStay. Hell, even see if Buller can get more opportunities coming in. Just a bigger body, a more traditional body. Because, like you said, Brody Myercheck, and God, they must feel a little bit of regret letting him go now, seeing how he did at Melbourne. I mean, there's a little bit of worry there. Yeah, we know that everything else is talented and they're missing a few pieces in the back, but forward is their glaring obvious problem.
Yeah.
Give credit to Adelaide, though. A lot of credit to Adelaide. I love Riley Thilthorpe. He's fantastic. And shout out Wayne Miller. Massive game from him.
Huge game. Well, it's always going to be important this year.
Now, the good one. Take this one? I want to take this one. Yeah, okay. I'll take it over this one. North versus Port. Of course, we can that title is so disrespectful. I'm not happy with the producer for that one. But North Melbourne shocked both of us and looked like a solid AFL side on the weekend.
The first time in almost a decade.
I know, and it didn't feel like a fluke. That's being as like generous as I can. Like that's being as grounded as I can with this side, because anyone who knows me as a North fan and knows a North fan knows they are super, super hesitant when it comes to being positive with this side, because the minute you get a bit too positive, they let you down. And God, we are set up for something like that coming up soon. Because obviously next week we play West Coast and then Essendon afterwards.
God, the AFL have handed you the biggest easy thing ever. Easy draw.
Our start's pretty good. Our start is very, very good. Either way, this game in particular, North Melbourne, pressure-wise, looked 2-3 times better than Port Adelaide, which is insane, because Port Adelaide are a team now with a new coach, hoping to make their new identity under him.
Yep. And
have arguably better talent. Arguably. The way that this game played out, the argument's harder to make.
Didn't look that way.
I mean, Jason Horne-Francis, thankfully, looked pretty rubbish in that game. Just like in terms of disposal efficiency, he couldn't get anything going. Could be a one-off, though.
Good.
Yeah, for me, good. So my thinking is, what do we now think of Port this year? Are they bottom 4 bound? Again, too early to really give a definitive answer to that question, but you'd think that these guys were shooting for finals this year. Is maybe the thinking behind that a little different now?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, no good team loses to North Melbourne, and they're very much not looking like a good team at this stage. Defensively, didn't look good at all. Their structure
my God, they made North defense look passable.
Their structure was really poor. Their ball use was looking like a team that full of list cloggers, as Kane Cornes said. And then their structure forward of the ball, I mean, they just didn't have any good ball movement.
Yeah.
And as you said, made North look like a good defense. If you're Josh Carr, you are seriously considering, should we have gone to the draft in the offseason?
That's what I was going to bring up as well, because these guys were big on bringing in talent from other teams. Exactly right. So your Jacob Wares, your Corey Durden.
Will Brodie's.
Exactly right. Well, Brodie didn't play. He was in a sandful. And then the others were within the bottom of champion data, like game rankings in the 40s. Yeah, exactly right. And that's just considering you didn't go to the draft for that reason. You wanted to bring in other talent. And you trusted that things would work out this year after an injury-riddled 2025. This is the worst possible start. And in a year where you are trying to convince Zach Butters, like I said in a previous episode, the way Josh Carr has been talking, he's almost admitted that Zach Butters is gone. Yeah. And the entire attitude around Port Adelaide now feels more like a funeral for Zach Butters this year than it does, Zach, look at our future. Look at what we can do. It feels like nothing. It feels like nothing.
The biggest question is, what does their future look like? Because if Butters does leave, you're going to have a huge hole to fill. But also, what is the direction then? Because, okay, I get Rosie and Horne-Francis are still relatively young. It's not like they're 22, 23. Okay, I think Horne-Francis might be, but Rosie's like 25, 26. He's going to want to win games. Bergman's the same, 25, 26, going to want to win games.
He re-upped.
He just re-signed 2 years. If you're going to sell Zach Butters, you're going to only get in draft picks and maybe a good young player. That is about it. So what goes forward now? What is the direction of this franchise moving forward?
I feel like they're already convincing themselves that they're going to hit a rebuild very, very soon.
You have to. And can you do you move on from Bergman? Is that someone you have to move on from? Is it someone like Leaker Lee you have to move on from?
A lot of their confusing decisions, honestly, this offseason. It feels like they've been so up in the air. Do they want to rebuild? Oh, but we want to re-sign this player. We want to convince Zach Butters to stay, but if we convince him to stay, that means we won't be able to go to the draft. Weird stuff. Weird stuff. A lot more we could talk about Port Adelaide, but I want to move on to the next one.
I don't. God damn it.
We are running a bit over time, so I will give you a little less time to talk about how poor this one was. Melbourne versus Saints. We were both wrong with this in a sense that, I had said that we had both kind of come to the agreement that Saints would outclass them. They have talent on paper. And despite how hard Melbourne were fighting in the preseason, they looked a step above those teams they played. We had both agreed that the Saints would still take it.
Yep.
Melbourne just fought harder. They that for me, that's as simple as it comes down to. But what are your thoughts?
It's not the end of the world. It really isn't.
No.
Like, I look at that and I just think there were so many easy blunders, so many drop marks. I genuinely counted 15 easy, uncontested.
Shout out Cooper Sharman.
Yeah, drop marks in the second half that at least 5 of them either led to a goal for Melbourne or should have led to a goal for us. And it was extremely poor. Jack Silvani in the second quarter, I think it was, might have been in the third quarter, had 2 kicks on his left foot. Both of them went 5 meters and went sideways instead of hitting the target. Genuinely was horrible. And you look at someone like Jack Carroll, and it's like, yeah, okay, it's his like 5th game for us or whatever. But he's meant to be a good kick. And then in the fourth quarter, literally chips at 5 meters when he's trying to kick at 40. Like, it literally goes 5 meters. It is genuinely some of the worst disposal efficiency in a second half I'd ever seen, or at least like easy mistakes. Like, it was really poor. And I think you have to give credit to Melbourne. They looked really strong and they looked really quick.
Players
and that was the thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, so many players stepped up.
Yeah. Like, Latrell Pickett had his moments. I don't think Cozzy Pickett had anywhere near his best game.
Not at
he
all.
Didn't need to.
Jai Cully, give a massive shout
had
to
a
Jai
really
Cully.
good game.
Harry Sharp as well. Like,
Yeah,
so many
okay.
players looked really, really nice.
Yeah, Jacob Van Rooyen, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's had a 6
He
goals.
He won't kick more than 3 goals the rest of the year.
I don't know. Structurally, they look ready to give him everything. And he's kicking goals pretty nicely from outside 50. I reckon, give him the opportunities, he'll have a lot more bags this year.
I'm not happy with it. But, yeah, we've got to win at least one of the next 2. And we're coming up against GWS, who just got whacked, and then it's Brisbane.
Is that with Harris Andrews? Without Harris Andrews.
Without Harris Andrews.
Okay, so at least there's that.
So it will be a very interesting next 2 weeks, because after that, we've got a bye, and then we've got 2 games in Adelaide.
Oh, you really needed to go 2-0, let's be honest.
We really need to get them in. But, we'll be fine for next week.
Like many have said,
we'll be fine.
It's gonna be all right. Let's go quickly through this.
What is there to talk about other than the
I
greatest?
Didn't shave my head.
Yeah, you didn't shave your head. The greatest debut ever.
What, really? Oh yes.
Maliki.
Double M. Maliki.
What's his name? What's his name?
Why am I forgetting? Why am I forgetting? He was so good. He got in Mac Andrews' head. It was fantastic. Yeah. Oh, man, this is really embarrassing. Malkin? I don't know. Oh, no, this is not good. Murdoch. Milan Murdoch. That's exactly. Oh, man, that's so embarrassing. I'm so sorry, West Coast fans, because I want to hype them up just a tiny bit because that third quarter they won. And how's this for a stat? Biggest tackle differential in their club's history in quarter 3.
What was this?
27-6. They
That's
destroyed
ridiculous.
Gold Coast in the third quarter.
Man, they still got beat by 60.
Yeah, they had that bad of a first half.
Jesus.
I got to give them at least some credit. I think that there's no way they have a 1-win season again.
No.
If they can put that pressure on teams,
beat you guys
like
next
North,
week.
Exactly. If they can put pressure on teams like North and teams like Richmond like that, they will pick up some wins.
Gold Coast just did what they needed to do. Not much more else to say, really.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Time to move
Good
on.
stuff, West Coast.
Yeah.
Let's go to Macca's Man of the Week.
My favourite segment.
I thought the other one... Okay,
no.
I'll take it. I'm not going to question it.
It's not the best.
I'm not going to question it.
It's my favourite. It's not the best.
Let's go to Macca's Man of the Week.
Look at that head.
Oh, man. So, lots to pick from again this week. Of course, through 9 games, there's more options. There was absolutely some standouts. One vote is going to Marcus Bontempelli.
Yes, fair enough. 33-3.
Destroyed it against GWS.
Yep.
Really put it out of reach.
Looked like the best player in the world.
Exactly
surprise,
right.
Surprise.
Maybe my Brownlow pick is on point this year. Who knows? It's 2 games in. Who cares? 2 votes goes to Wayne Miller. I'd mentioned him previously. He, described by his teammates, had the best game of his career.
Yep.
30-plus disposals, like really solid when they needed him down in that back line too. Just shout out to him. Congratulations, Wayne. I know you're going to be watching this. 3 votes. Max Gawn. Had to be Max Gawn.
Dad, you had me. You had me in the first half.
TDK, no.
No, I thought you were going to say Max Hall.
No, not Max Hall.
Damn, he was so good.
He was really good. I'll give him that credit.
Incredible.
Honourable mention, Max Hall. Honourable mention. But considering, Max Gawn, he just doesn't stop, does he? We were talking about how, this will be the year that Max Gawn finally gets beaten up with the number 1 in the league, Ruckman. Oh my God, how does he keep doing it? And it's not even like TDK played really poorly.
He was really good for 3 quarters. He just
ran out of gas in the fourth, and Max didn't. He didn't even come off in the fourth, and he still kept going. Unbelievable stuff from Max Gawn. And so a very, very rightful 3 votes. Let's go to Donkey of the Week, though. And I had a bit of trouble. So this is kind of not Macca's Donkey of the Week. This is producer Ethan's Donkey of the Week. And, of course...
Don't go the umpires.
No, it's us.
Okay, good.
It's you and I. We're the donkeys. We're the donkeys for our awful tipping last week. A really, really poor team.
Just give it to Tom Lynch, man.
No.
Not us. Give it to Tom Lynch.
This year,
he single-handedly lost them the game.
I don't want to... But at the same time, would they have even been in it if he wasn't getting so many opportunities?
Yeah, they would have been whacking him. And then had he been kicking them, they would have been whacking Carlton.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And 4 goals and 1 king hit for Tom Lynch is his final stat line.
He might do that every week this week. You don't know. I feel really sorry for whoever comes up against him this week if he misses his first shot.
If he misses his first, oh my God, the fullback is going to be like, hey, switch.
Who do they play?
Someone take Tom.
Who do they play? I'm checking right now.
I can't remember, but... Yeah, you and I are Donkey of the Week.
I play Gold Coast. Mac Andrew.
2 crash-out merchants go against each other. Oh, my God, we're going to see swinging. I can't wait for that. That is going to be so good. All right.
Well, given
Macca's Donkey of the Week ends on a high note. Good stuff.
Given we just talked about Max Gawn getting the 3 votes in Donkey of the Week.
Man of the Week. Donkey of the Week was Tom Lynch. No, us. We have 3 votes. Okay. Tom can have 1.
Yeah, my brain's rotting today. I think it's fair time we talk about the new ruck rules.
Absolutely.
And given we've seen a bit of the new look of it, he looked fantastic. He doesn't look like he's been affected by too much. But who has been affected from what you've seen so far?
So, a few of the changes, right? Because I'll start off with the person, Lloyd Meek. We'd both previously mentioned, and for you it was the reason you tipped Essendon, was because Lloyd Meek didn't look all that great. Lockie Blackiston looked good. However, what Hawthorn came into that game with was a 2 ruck scenario where
Ned
Reeves came in and alleviated the pressure Lloyd Meek had to go around the ground and keep up with the athleticism of Lockie Blackiston. I'll put it this way. Lockie Blackiston destroyed them in the centre bounce or the centre ball up. Destroyed them. Clearly the centre throw up, whatever you want to call it. He looked really good in that scenario specifically.
Yeah.
Everywhere else he got beat. And I don't know whether that is specifically just him because he's just getting involved in the ruck.
Yep.
He's got his obvious advantage there and he just needs to bulk up to get more of an advantage elsewhere and get a bit stronger and work on his ruck craft. Yeah. But with those 2 in the middle, Lloyd Meek actually fitting quite well. Ned Reeves even put 2 goals on the board, which is fantastic. It's a great outcome for a guy who only got 1 game last year. So you think with that, where else can that apply? GWS. They got over the top of Hawthorn the previous week, which is Kieran Briggs, but then got absolutely punished by a man who is doing really well with his new ruck rules, Tim English.
Yeah.
So
Nick Madden could potentially come in.
Exactly right. I'm thinking, do these teams who don't have that athletic freak, like a Luke Jackson, a Tim English, a Max Gawn, a TDK, a Tristan Sherry, all those guys that you think of when you... Tristan Sherry, you can argue, but at the same time, he's doing well. He had a good game. When you think about when they're coming up against teams like that, can you go with just 1 big body ruckman?
Yeah.
Is that possible? We've already seen Adelaide go completely away from Riley O'Brien in the previous week. They've gone with their 2 tall blokes to give themselves a bit of an advantage there. And it worked out quite nicely against Darcy Cameron, despite the fact that Darcy still got around the ground and did his thing.
He's still a very good ruckman, yeah.
But if we're talking advantages for teams who are trying to utilise the new ruck rules, bringing in 2 big bodies, if you don't have that athletic specimen, is potentially a go-around. Because it did quite well to combat an athletic ruckman like Lockie Blackiston.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is a 1-game scenario, and we'll need to see if the dual ruckman works against teams that have a more experienced and skilled athletic ruckman. Again, Tim English, all the ones we listed before. Will we see that type of game plan work out?
Yeah, 100%.
I think the biggest test. Sorry, just very quickly. The biggest test will be the Dogs all year because Tim English is their backline and midfield ruckman. Sam Darcy's their second up in the forward line. So Tim English can now set up defensively. Yeah. Let's see how it works against them.
Yeah, I think the big thing is just because you play two ruckmen, you're still going to get some value out of them in their secondary position. Yeah. So as you said, Ned Rees kicking 2 goals is super beneficial because he's able to provide value forward of the ball. Sam Darcy, he's able to be that second ruckman, because he can kick a lot of goals. Like, he will kick a ridiculous amount of goals. But B, because they've also got a couple other forwards who can then step up in his absence. Aaron Norn kicked 6 goals on the weekend, right? It's going to be hard when you see potentially GWS do it because Kieran Briggs and Nick Madden don't have that ability to really go forward and hit the scoreboard consistently.
Consistently, yep.
Yeah. The other thing is, right, Melbourne didn't do it because they had Max Gawn. So is it just a thing of, okay, if we don't have the best ruckman anymore, we'll just get 2 decent ruckmen and then try it that way? Because you look at it, Port Adelaide might need to because Dante Vizzantini and Jordan Sweet probably aren't good enough to do it by themselves. And the other one I'm really concerned about is Sean Darcy. They've obviously had him and Luke Jackson as their partnership. Luke Jackson is a freak of nature. That is very well clearly stated. We know how good of a player he is. We know how good of an athlete he is. If you put Sean Darcy as your number 1 ruckman, does that detract from Luke Jackson and his ability to not only be an athletic freak in the ruck and benefit with the new rules, but also his ability around the ground? Because we know how good he is as a sort of pseudo midfielder. I think that's a really interesting thing for Longmuir to look at because Darcy didn't have a good game and it doesn't look like he will have a good year because he doesn't suit the new rules and the new system basically for ruckman. I think that is a big thing for Fremantle is whether they go with Mason Cox and Luke Jackson or Sean Darcy and Luke Jackson.
Yeah, I had not even thought about Mason Cox being in that rotation because, he actually provides probably a more impactful role than Sean Darcy would, right? Because he has that key position that he can play. Interesting stuff going over there at Fremantle, but it's just this new ruck rule scenario and just the freedom that has now been opened up both with the lasso rule and that midfield bounce that clearly is showing signs of being a offensive advantage. Yeah. And it opens up so much.
Yeah, and if you want to leave your comments in the below as well, because it's something really interesting and it's something that a lot of people need to discuss. Obviously, you're going to be more in tune to your own team. So leave below how you think your team will be affected by the ruck rules because it's a really interesting new rule change that kind of has affected the game a bit more than what we thought.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think there's too much more that I want to touch on that. I think we've hit a lot of teams quite nicely.
Yep.
So let's get into the best segment of ZAF. Is that right? That's correct. It's the best segment of ZAF.
Absolutely, it's the best segment. It's not even close. It is incomparable. This is what you were working on last night, isn't it? Why have I got grey hair? That doesn't even look like me.
You want to know where that's taken from?
Go ahead.
That was from your cameo in the Cardman goal kicking competition.
Seriously?
Yeah, so that is a Cardman edit. Cardman put grey hairs on you, bro.
Hey, I might have to have some words with you, Cardi. I might leak where you live.
No. Oh, no. Oh, I don't want to get... No.
I don't look like me. It's not me. I look like Behm. I look... You know, Jackass? I look like Behm from Jackass.
That makes sense. It makes sense.
What's happened to me? Can we get a picture up of that guy from Jackass, please, producer? That does not look like me.
I got tears in my eyes, man. That is well, it's from a few years back. That's from 2 years back, I'm pretty sure.
2 years ago.
Yeah, a year and a half, 2 years ago. Good times. Producer's dying.
Oh, please tell me he's just looked at what I see. Okay, we'll move on. By the end of Behmy's TT, we might have that photo come up. Who knows?
Yep.
But the first thing I want to talk about isn't technically Behmy's TT, but it is an umpire thing, and it is a very funny thing. So listening to SEN, and Tom Morris was on their agenda, and he was talking about a new, unusual Shizen, as they call it, which is very interesting. And it was about the boundary umpires. And the fact that none of them can now throw 18 to 20 metres, which is the regulated standard that they should. What apparently the AFL has allowed them to now is to be able to step 5 metres within the boundary line to be able to hit that 18 to 20 metres. And the funniest thing was Kane Cornes said, "This is woke." And he is absolutely correct. He is 100% spot on.
Who cares? Honestly, who cares?
We do. Why? I don't want to see them step 5 metres in. I could throw 18 metres behind my head and I'm not getting paid. No, I 100% can.
No, you couldn't.
100% can.
Nah.
Absolutely.
Nah,
absolutely.
Not even DEI could help you.
Could be a reason why they've had to do that for DEI reasons. You never know. But okay, I'll move on.
Honestly, who cares though? Who
Kane
cares?
Cornes, clearly.
Yeah, evidently. Like, who cares? They just throw it in and jump back
maybe
out.
they can't get abused on the boundary line by fans.
Exactly right. They don't get spit on as they're throwing it in.
We'll get straight into the actual Behmy's TT. We'll start off with Jonty Fall getting a 1 week suspension, graded as intentional conduct, medium impact, and body contact. This was given 1 week for a body blow to Jacob Wittering, as his name is actually pronounced.
Wow.
Because he's Dutch.
Very nice.
This is fair. I think, this is the rule that they made. No more whacks to the body, the gut, the chest, whatever it is. This is just an example to be made. First time, I believe, a player's been suspended for it. Fair enough, too. And the next one. You're
cool with that one? You're
very cool with this one.
If you hit someone off the ball, just randomly, fair enough. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that it's been suspended. I'm just... Because it's a first-time thing.
You don't want it in the game.
You're putting your foot in the stand with
the action is not an AFL action.
Yep.
The other one that I found before we get to the main one, which is Scott Pendlebury, is Charlie Cameron got fined for bumping Brodie Grundy trying to block for someone. Not hitting him high, not whacking him, literally just tried to block for someone and got fined for it.
Yep.
What a world we live in.
This is not the
ridiculous.
Football I remember.
It's woke.
Oh, God. Shut up.
I'm not happy with that one. I'm not happy with that one. But the main one we'll talk about is Scott Pendlebury, graded as careless conduct, medium impact, high contact for his bump on Josh Worrell, given 1 week. For the first time in 427 games, he has been suspended.
Yep, and I say force him to retire for it.
I agree.
What do you think, producer? He's not happy. I agree.
So they more than likely will take this to the tribunal, but as it is already
they've got it right.
It's already Tuesday, so they had to have done it or within a day before, and I don't know if they have.
If they haven't, that's nuts.
I don't know yet. Yeah. I believe it makes sense that they would. The most interesting thing about this is the good guy aspect that should have been completely banished last year, because the Charlie Cameron one was absolute bullshit. But it appears that they haven't fully abandoned it. The entire aspect still exists, because initially it was, okay, if you've got a clean record for, let's say, a full year, 2 years, whatever, similar to driving, right? You'll be fine. You can get off. We'll give you a little bit of leniency. Now they've got rid of that. But if you've got extreme circumstances or you are an incredibly good bloke, then you can still get off.
Nobel Peace Prize levels of good bloke.
Yeah, exactly. You had a basketball background kind of good bloke.
What did you say?
Thief for Peace Prize. Yeah, give it to Donald Trump, shall we?
What is going on with this podcast?
I got no idea.
This has gotten scarily political. This is this scarily political episode. I'm worried here.
Woke. Don't talk politics.
I know. We need to keep this footy related. Yeah. Let's just keep it on track. All right, keep going.
So let's say, for example, you've played 427 games and you've never been suspended before. Then maybe you will get off scot-free.
Was that what you had set this all up for?
No, but he actually might get off scot-free because he's never been suspended before, which is fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry, it's the one swear bomb I'm going to do today. Ridiculous.
I feel like that definitely isn't the only one. But
utter woke nonsense.
Shit. Is that like your palate cleanser?
Yeah, I'm done now.
What the?
It's him. It is him. I'm telling you, it's him. It is actually unreal.
I can't believe how quickly you did that. That's what you were doing during that whole time. Oh my God.
I'm telling you, if you find a younger picture of him where he doesn't have, for whatever reason, a Star of David tattoo on his cheek, You will find it is identical.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. I just can't believe the editing job you did so quickly, producer. That's why we pay him nothing.
Yeah.
Man, Behmy's TT's gone off the rails today.
New photo loading, maybe.
New photo loading.
Not as
no,
much.
he looks too styled. Behm doesn't have that
Damn.
style.
Jeez, look at the jewellery on the wrist, though. Damn, I stopped, man.
No, you don't have that. You don't have that.
No,
you don't have that.
No, I don't even have a tattoo.
No, that's all right, though. Behmy's TT was wild this week. What a great episode. This is why it's the best part of Zach, isn't it? It's so good.
Always. I do my best.
How are we going to look at round 2 now? We're too distracted.
I don't know, but for one thing certain, I'm never tipping Essendon again.
Yep, that's a good shout. That's a very, very good shout.
Regardless of who they play. Oh, they play Port Adelaide. Yep, definitely not tipping them this week.
We've got a couple of buys as well. So Brisbane, Collingwood, Carlton, and Geelong all don't
4
play.
Games.
So 4 teams don't play this week.
Sucks, man.
Yeah, we've only got the 7. It's a shame. Right after a full round, we go back to having some buys. But of course, that's all for the opening round stuff. So it does make sense in that way. But let's have a look at game number 1. This is the Thursday night at the MCG. Hawthorn versus Sydney. You're going to put a little bit more respect on Hawthorn this time?
Maybe.
Sydney don't have Errol Gulden.
Yeah, or Isaac Heaney.
Potentially.
So, really interesting potential in this game, I think. In terms of Angus Sheldrick's going to have to have a really good game. Braden Campbell's going to have a really good game. Justin McInerney's going to have to rewind his Carlton game as well. Charlie Curnow will have to be the match winner in this, though.
Marty has thankfully been really helpful for this side now with all the pressure and all the attention going to Charlie Curnow. So he's kind of getting a bit of an Aaron Norton treatment, if that makes sense. You know, all the eyes on Sam Darcy. He gets all the reward for it. So could expect another good one from him. I'm just trying to think. Hawthorn's back line definitely could stick up to it.
Josh Battle versus Charlie Curnow is going to be a fan. I really want to go to this game.
I wish.
Just hate watch on. I'll probably be going with a Carlton fan. I'm gonna hate watch Josh Battle. He's gonna hate watch Charlie Curnow. Yeah. There's only gonna be one winner.
That's actually quite funny.
Yeah.
That's good. This is such a tough one. This is a really, really tough one. And after last week, I don't want to go anywhere too far. I don't want to say this team's going to be beaten by this much.
I'm putting more confidence in Hawthorn.
You can't be serious after last week.
Just because of the home game. Just because it's the home game.
No, you're overcompensating for your Essendon pick last week.
I don't know how to look into Hawthorn because had Goulden and Heaney been there, Sydney absolutely. Had one of them been there, I'd probably still lean to Sydney. But if both of them are missing, I can't go Sydney. I just can't.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm looking at how Hawthorn won last week and how defensively poor Essendon was. Sydney are not going to let that happen, surely.
They're still not fantastic defensively.
They're better. And surely they'd be smart enough to understand, all right, don't let Connor McDonald go goal side all game. Don't let Jack Ginnivan wander around the ground with no one on him.
I'm leaning Hawthorn. I'll go in a close game.
I am too.
I'm leaning Hawthorn.
I hope it's close. That's all I'll say.
9-point games for me.
I'll go a goal, 6 points Hawthorn. I think it could go either way, but because of those outs, and I think the matchups on both sides, whether it's forward or defensively, work in Hawthorn's way just, even with the talent that Sydney do offer on the forward. And Hawthorn's backline is pretty decent.
Yeah, they are very solid.
So I'm going to go Hawthorn by a goal.
Yeah. Adelaide Bulldogs is a fantastic game on paper.
Oh, yeah. Dogs are on fire with the scalps that they pulled and the margins they've won. Adelaide off a really solid win.
Against the Pies.
Against the Pies. Oh, can that defense hold up against the Dogs, though?
Yeah.
You reckon?
No. I'm just saying it's the point. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But also the midfield. Jeez, that midfield, Bulldogs midfield might absolutely clap Adelaide.
If the midfield plays the way that they did last week, this could be a big Dogs win.
I feel bad for Jordan Dawson at this stage. I think Isaac Rankin should be back this week, though.
Yes, you're right. Isaac Rankin will be a nice little kind of up and back. I think
so.
what will end up happening is the Adelaide forwards will have to play way further up the ground than they would like to try and help bring that ball up. Like, I reckon Fogg will find his way all the way up to the wing.
I'd be tempted to
Thought will too. He'll get some ruck rotation as well.
If I'm Matty Nix, I am putting extra forward up to the ball to outnumber there. I trust our backline to be good enough against the Dogs forward. And then I trust our forwards to be able to be one player down, but compete against this Bulldogs backline.
If you're looking at an individual,
that's the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah, if you're looking, because again, the Dogs structure has made it so that their defense isn't so isolated as they used to be. So my thinking is, if you bring that extra number from Adelaide's forward up to compete against the Dogs backline or Dogs midfield, they can almost outnumber or even up, depending on how kind of, I guess, disciplined the Dogs midfield ends up being.
Yeah.
So this is another really tough one to go, but I just find it so hard to go past the Bulldogs right now.
Agreed.
If they play the way they did against the Giants, they will win this game. I'm going to say by 20, but do not doubt Adelaide at Adelaide Oval. Even though they went out straight sets at Adelaide Oval last year, do not doubt them.
I think I'm going Doggies by 31. I think just because their ability to score is so incredibly high, it'll be really hard to do.
And you know what? I reckon it'll be a really close 31, if that makes sense. The game will feel a lot tighter than 31 points, the margin, if it does get out that wide. Let's go Richmond versus Suns, though. If you remember last year at Marvel Stadium, the Richmonds took out the Suns. The Richmonds? Oh, no. The Tigers took out the Suns is what I meant. We've got an early morning recording. I had a rough start to the day. I was actually going to get myself a nice haircut for this episode, just unrelated to the game. I was going to get myself a nice haircut because I didn't have to shave my head because of last week's bet.
Can we do it again? Because it's specifically against you guys.
No. Oh, wait. If North beat the Suns?
No. Or Eagles, North.
Eagles, North. No.
Come on.
No.
Back your own team in.
No, I can't.
Come on.
I don't have that much faith yet.
Come on.
We'll worry about them when we get to them. Richmond versus Suns. This is expected to go a certain way.
Yep.
It's at the MCG.
It'll definitely go that way.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I saw some great pressure from West Coast nearly take out the Suns.
Doesn't matter.
I'm going Suns as well, but I'm going to go by 30.
The hopium will not last for Richmond.
Again, I think they're overachievers this season, man. I really do. It's just a team like the Suns aren't going to allow it to happen.
Suns by 50.
But there were cracks, man. There were cracks in the armour that the Suns had against West Coast.
Man, they were up by 70 at half time. I don't think they care. No, that absolutely matters.
19 tackle difference. Dimmer came out at halftime specifically saying we want to play a full game of football.
I don't think he cares that much, to be honest.
I don't know. I reckon the Tigers will have a bit more fight in them than you're giving them credit.
Going Suns by 50.
I'm going Suns by 30. GWS versus the Saints. You specifically said this has to be a win.
We have to win this.
You said that last week.
I'm not tipping us, but we have to win this.
How do you think this game's won?
If we're clean, if we can kick straight, if we can take our chances.
If Naz plays midfield.
Yeah, if he doesn't get chucked for a full quarter as a full forward and actually plays where he's meant to be.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm finding the most confusing about this year is that we both run under the understanding, all right, Naz is full-time midfield now. He's just not. He's actually becoming a full-time forward.
Yeah, it's 50-50. It's actually ridiculous.
It feels more 70-30 forward at the moment. It's really weird. It's like he's been given the range to play wherever he wants, and he has gone and chosen, no, I'd like to sit in the forward.
Yeah, it's
really weird.
And it works. He kicks 3 goals when he does play forward.
It works for him.
Yeah. We don't have a good enough midfield outside of him yet to be able to do that.
Yeah,
Jack
works
McRae's
for him,
horrible.
not the team.
Yeah.
Jack McRae, he was like a standout poor player in that game. Like, he was one that looked really out of shape.
I think, at home, though, GWS did beat Hawthorn there. I don't see why they wouldn't beat us there.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Oh, man. I'm just trying to think, if you put Naz in the midfield, your midfield will get over the top, but if not, then I don't know what will happen. Defensively, you guys were decent.
Yeah, not really. Anthony Caminiti let Jacob Van Rooyen kick 6 goals,
you
5 in the first half.
You can say that, and considering GWS's game plan is like an orange tsunami.
Aaron Cadman should be back as well. So.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go GWS. I'm sorry. I'm going GWS by
I'm going to say...
Probably 40 because of how stupid it's been for the Saints.
I'm going Giants by 20.
Yeah, fair enough. Freo versus Melbourne. This one's a good one.
If Melbourne beat Fremantle...
We have to reimagine everything we thought about these guys.
Both teams.
Both teams, 100%. 100%. Melbourne looked so... I mean, maybe they looked dynamic. Good because you guys weren't clean.
Yeah.
I think Melbourne's game plan really works when the other team's kicks aren't hitting the target. I think they are so good at pouncing onto loose balls and making the game flow offensively with this new Stephen King tactical offense. It doesn't even look all that tactical. Yeah, the system in general is just put the pressure on as much as you can and then keep going forward, keep pushing forward, keep the ball moving fast. And it was so clear to see in that game against St Kilda, and they just pounced on you guys every time you made a mistake. If Fremantle make as many mistakes, watch out, Fremantle. Melbourne could be on you. But agreed. Fremantle, if they can play a whole 4 quarters of footy and not lose their legs, absolutely, I reckon they'll beat Melbourne.
It'll be interesting.
Do we think it'll happen, though?
It'll be interesting because if they do, once again, have a good first half or a good second half and aren't good in the other half, does Justin Longmire get put under a whole lot of pressure?
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's now just come out and said the reason is because they had better game sense. Now in a game where they don't have better game sense and game feel, maybe not.
Yeah.
So I think I'm leaning towards Fremantle. Just close game.
I think so too.
5 points.
I'm going Freo. I'm going to go by 10. I'm going to double you.
Yeah.
Port versus Essendon.
Snooze fest.
It does feel like a snooze fest. We'll work out who is worse with this game.
I'm just going Port because Essendon looked worse than Port.
They both look like they could have really poor defenses.
Yeah, Zach Butters, I think, might have 35-5.
There's a good chance. that actually could be a good shout. I reckon 5 is probably a bit much, but you can definitely get around it. I think Essendon's midfield, though, love to get around the ball. That's the thing. They love to get their touches. Port Adelaide had no pressure against North. They're going to need to bring that pressure if they're going to want to beat Essendon. I don't know exactly where I want to swing it, but honestly, I'm going off of your ideas. Do not trust Essendon this year. You cannot trust Essendon. So I'm going to go Essendon. Port Adelaide by 22.
Yeah, I'm going Port by... Let's go 45.
You reckon?
Let's go risky.
You really don't like Essendon now?
Nope, not anymore.
Well, it's your fault for getting faked out by them. Eagles versus North. This is the one rare time that I am going to have faith in my North Melbourne team, purely because we need to. We need to have faith. I believe under Nick Larkey, we're going to be a completely different side. And oh man, I can already feel this going badly for me.
I have no idea which way this game is going to go.
It's at WA, North Melbourne. I don't think they're notoriously bad there, but I know they've lost in recent years to West Coast in West Coast. I am going to go North, though, purely because I need to put some faith in my team now after that win against Port Adelaide.
You know, fuck it, let's go risky. Second swear bomb. Golden Eagles.
Why?
Highly rated legacy game.
Oh, my God. Against North Melbourne.
I don't actually... Is Liam Baker playing?
I don't know.
I don't no idea where he is.
But absolutely, if the Eagles put the pressure on like they did against Gold Coast in the third quarter, they could make North second guess themselves. Yeah. North are going to need the same performance as they did against Port Adelaide to win this one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go North. North, really solid, strong win by 30 points.
If Liam Baker plays, I'll go West Coast by 1. If he doesn't, I'll go North by 1.
2 points the difference.
Yeah.
I hate you. I hate you so much. That is round 2's preview finished up. That is yet another episode of Zero Access Footy finished up. It was a wild episode, as per usual. But I'm so grateful we once again got through it and had a bit of fun along the way. So if you guys enjoyed it as much as we have, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. All the usuals that you see up there. All the links will be in the description. And, of course, if you didn't already, join our tipping comp. You can get yourself a shout-out if you're a good performer. Appreciate you all very much tuning in once again. Behm and I will see you next week for, hopefully, North Melbourne 2-0. Yes?
No. Peace.
See you later.